Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Heat, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. The Miami Heat's defense is a bigger problem than you think. While most of the blame for the Miami Heat's disappointing season has been aimed at injuries and another year of listless offense, the defense hasn't been the subject of very much critique. And why would it? The Heat were 5th in defensive rating, a very good mark, while the offense ranked 21st in efficiency and the team had more games missed due to injury than any other playoff team. No doubt, those are the primary culprits for another year in the play-in tournament. But it would be a mistake to assume everything is fine with the Heat's defense. Even though the Heat need to get healthier and better at scoring, there's a lot more room for improvement on defense than their defensive rating suggests. Pop open the hood and those defensive cylinders aren't all firing. While the Heat did rank 5th with an overall defensive rating of 111.5 for the season, that wasn't the case against good teams. Against teams with a top 10 offensive rating, the Heat's defense ranked 19th, giving up 121 points per 100 possessions, nearly 10 more points per 100 than their regular season average, according to Cleaning the Glass. Nope. The two most dominant defenses in the league last season, the Minnesota Timberwolves and Orlando Magic, still ranked 1st and 2nd in defensive rating against those same top 10 offenses. That's the mark of a truly elite defense. The Heat made up ground against bad teams, giving up 107.6 points per 100 possessions against bottom 10 offenses. So while Miami's defense took care of business against lesser competition, that unit didn't step up when it was needed most. This fits the through line of the Heat's season, that they won the games they were supposed to win but struggled to beat elite teams. Miami was 5-20 against teams with a top 10-point differential, per CTG. The Heat also got lucky when it came to opponent three-point shooting, as teams made just 35.3% of their threes against the Heat, the 5th worst mark in the league against a specific opponent. Eric Spoelstra talked a lot during the season about the need to be disruptive on defense. How creating turnovers would help feed a starving offense. The Heat ranked 4th in creating turnovers against bottom 10 offenses, good, but 22nd against top 10 offenses, bad. This difference in forcing turnovers is baked into Miami ranking a middling 14th in half-court defense, according to CTG. That's a much more accurate reflection of the Heat's quality of defense. For those who watched the Heat all season, this shouldn't be surprising. Even with an impressive overall defensive rating, it never felt like the Heat had an elite defense. Two unrealistic Jimmy Butler trades Heat must consider in 2024 NBA offseason. The Miami Heat, coming off a 2022-23 season in which they made it all the way to the NBA Finals, could not overcome the major injury woes that they experienced into the playoffs. Not only was major trade deadline acquisition Terry Rozier III unable to suit up, the Heat's best player, Jimmy Butler, also missed the entirety of the Heat's 6-game series defeat in the first round at the hands of the Boston Celtics due to an MCL sprain, an unfortunate injury he sustained in the 7-8 play-in tournament game. While Butler's injury is through no fault of his own, the Heat star did not end the season on the best of notes with regards to his relationship with team president Pat Riley. Butler's trolling on social media didn't sit well with Riley, who urged the Heat forward to keep his mouth shut since he wasn't on the court. The timing of this remark from Riley definitely raised some eyebrows. At the conclusion of the 2024-25 season, Jimmy Butler could enter free agency in search of one last big payday. He has a player option worth $52 million for the 2025-26 season, but he'll be 36 years old by the time that campaign begins. If he plays at an all-star level for next year, he could definitely earn another huge deal before his retirement. However, even though Butler is reportedly angling for a contract extension, the Heat appear to be hesitant to put such an offer on the table, and for justifiable reason. It's not quite clear just for how long Butler can play at a high level. Nonetheless, there might be a few teams that would be willing to splash the cash on Butler since he's an established name who performs well in the playoffs. If Butler and the Heat fail to see eye to eye, there could be a chance, no matter how unlikely, that the 34-year-old star could be on his way out of South Beach this offseason. Should that happen, these are some of the best trades the Heat must consider. There may be wholesale changes coming for the New Orleans Pelicans after another disappointing season in which they finished as the 8th seed in the Western Conference after looking like they were in the driver's seat to take the 4 seed in March. The Pelicans' season went downhill fast after Zion Williamson suffered an injury in the play-in game against the Los Angeles Lakers, and they simply were not able to recover en route to a first-round exit against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, Brandon Ingram is in the final year of his deal, and he appears to be on his way out of New Orleans, especially with sharpshooter Trey Murphy up for a huge rookie-scale extension this offseason. Ingram's name has been heavily mentioned in trade rumors, and in this scenario, the Heat could take a chance on him and bring out an even greater level out of the former All-Star as the de facto Jimmy Butler replacement. Ingram is 9 years younger than Jimmy Butler, and he's been averaging 23-6-5 since arriving on the Pelicans team via the Anthony Davis trade. He'll only be 27 years of age at the start of next season, so he should still have plenty of productive years, making this very much worthwhile for the Heat, especially since they'll be receiving a potential lottery pick for 2025 in the Los Angeles Lakers' first-round selection. For the Pelicans, giving up on Brandon Ingram could be a huge mistake. But if they don't want to pay him, they might as well get a potentially huge upgrade on him in Jimmy Butler to boost their hopes of mounting a deep playoff run for 2025. Butler is a locker room leader who will rally this Pelicans team and show up for them when it matters the most, health permitting. This return for Jimmy Butler may seem light at first glance. Butler is the heart of a team that is a threat to make it out of the Eastern Conference year in, year out, and to trade him for players who don't even come close to approximating his impact will certainly hurt their chances of competing for the Larry O'Brien Trophy in 2025. NBA Insider provides update on Jimmy Butler trade from the Miami Heat. The 5-year marriage between star wing Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat could soon be coming to an end. After Miami's first-round loss to the eventual champion Boston Celtics in the NBA playoffs, front office head Pat Riley called Butler out. This came following an injury-plagued end of the season in which Butler had to sit out the playoffs. At 34 years old, Butler might be on a different timeline than the Heat. Hence, why rumors continue to pop up regarding a potential trade. Matt Moore of the Action Network just recently added more fodder to Butler-related trade rumors. Butler has 1 more year left on his deal with the Heat. The Heat don't have to trade him. Whether you think having Jimmy Butler disgruntled in the final year of a deal sounds like a fun time is certainly something everyone has to decide, Moore noted. But there's at least a feeling in league circles that if the Heat decide not to extend him at his preferred price, they'll facilitate a deal. Butler is eligible for an extension worth around $113 million over 2 seasons. That's what he is said to be seeking. This latest information comes amid reports that both the Philadelphia 76ers and Golden State Warriors are among teams that would be interested in acquiring Butler if he were put on the trade block. Advertisement. Remember, Butler suited up in Philadelphia for part of the 2018-19 season. There is a belief within the 76ers front office that they made a mistake by letting him leave for South Beach. As for the Warriors, they continue to be linked to wings to team up with Stephen Curry. Jimmy Butler stats: 2023-24, 20.8 ppg, 5.3 rpg, 5.0 apg, 50% shooting, giving Butler the type of contract he's demanding, coupled with whatever Miami asks for in a trade could be too expensive for interested teams. He has not played in more than 65 games in a single season since all the way back with the Chicago Bulls in 2016-17. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Jimmy Butler? Leave your opinion in the comments.